Welcome back to another spoilers episode. But before we get into spoilers, I want to go over some new art that was released this past week. And the first one we're going to take a look at here is Tezzeret. And the first thing that I noticed about this is that it's in the underground city, or what appears to be an underground city. And Tezzeret is once again got this whole glowing thing going on. These guys are not attacking him; they're just kind of watching him go by. I don't even know what's going on between the two pieces of artwork, this one and the old one. But I'm willing to bet we're not going to see it on the card since we didn't see the last one on the card. It's probably just a promotional art, but it's a waste to have something that looks that interesting for promotional art. I think it should have been made into the last one should have been made into a card. I hope this one will be as well. Now this guy here doesn't look like your typical card art. He looks like a creature, maybe a knight, maybe a shaman knight, whatever. But it's so different compared to what we usually see coming out of Wizards of the Coast development for Magic. This is more like something you would see in D&D or I forget the name of the other game they have, but it doesn't look like your typical Magic art, and for that reason alone I'm very interested to see what exactly this art is for. I'm kind of excited to see where this guy fits in here. This guy here is a Phyrexian Thane, I believe the artwork calls for. It's pretty interesting looking. It looks more like the original Phyrexians that we're used to, not the strictly organic kind, but the metallic organic. And one thing I'm noticing is that we're doing a lot of things with like big long limbs like fingers and jaws and legs, but not like stomachs or torsos, or arms a little bit too. But overall this guy is really cool looking. I'm really hoping that I know it's probably not, but I hope it's a Praetor. And I'm really hoping that whatever this falls on is really awesome, because I definitely want a playset to put and make something out of this guy. The art's just too awesome not to use, let's put it that way. This guy here looks a lot like Edge Champion to me. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just the posing. Maybe it's the sun's in the background. Maybe it's like the hair metal going on. Haha, hair metal. Overall, I'm really not liking it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the artwork, but I can't tell what's going on just based on the artwork. I mean, everything's got something you can tell. And then to go out on a really big limb here is same thing as Etched Champion, except maybe a bigger PNT and maybe a higher mana cost. That's all I'm going to go with. Maybe something of Pro Artifacts too, but that's pretty doubtful, not in flavor. So yeah, overall I like the artwork, I just can't tell anything about it. Keeping tradition with Karn artwork, here is another awesome picture of Karn, and it looks like he's fighting the Phyrexians that are coming after him, obviously. If I pay more attention to the flavor of Phyrexia so far, we can see in the far right corner the skull looking guy with the white head. He's part of the White Alliance. The one next to him I think is part of the Black Alliance, probably something to do with the Thanes. And one on the far left is probably the blue Phyrexian, Manacide, whatever. No idea what their storyline part is yet. But it looks like he's had enough and he's just ready to attack his quote-unquote oppressors, or he's just trying to silence them. When the artwork for Corrupted Conscience came out, I was really psyched about it, and I'm equally psyched for this one because it's Karn getting up and doing something. He's not getting up, but you know what I'm saying. Our buy box promo, as far as I can tell, is Surgical Extraction. Joining strengths as such cards as Cranial Extraction, Honey Echoes, and Extirpate. The real question is, will the 2 life or black Phyrexian mana cost make it worth playing over Extirpate? And I actually don't think it will, because Extirpate's got the split second and this doesn't. But you're going to be talking about a metagame that has a lot of alternative Phyrexian mana costs, where mana might not be that much of a big deal, So turn 1, your opponent does a whole bunch of goofy stuff. Your turn 1, you can respond to it with mana or with your life. I mean, it opens up some good room for creative design, and I think a lot of room for creative gameplay. I'm pretty excited about it, even though it's just a reprint of a card we've already seen. Spawning Shell, or whatever it's called, we're banking pretty much on Spawning Shell for the name here. With that cool Phyrexian mana cost of green, 3 in the green to play and 1 in the green, tap to activate, sacrifice a creature, search your library for a creature card for a mana cost equal to the sacrifice creature's converted mana cost +1, and put it onto the battlefield. Then shuffle your library if it's only keep play a sorcery. So that takes the fun out of it a little bit, but it's not terrible. I'm willing to bet it probably will see play. This is not a food chain effect at all. This is a tap effect and sacrifice a guy and then search out. It's like, it's not the same thing, but I'm willing to bet it's going to see play. I would definitely get a play set if I could. Spawning Shell sounds like a pretty cool name too. I like that. And yeah, it's a cool looking card either way. Scrap Metal Fiend, power and toughness equal to the number of artifact cards in all graveyards, a single red to play. So if you're blowing stuff up, he's good. If you're not doing anything, then he's just terrible. Likewise, if you're the aggressor here and your stuff is getting blown up, he's probably a mini Tarmogoyf mid to late game. But I'm not placing too much on this guy. He doesn't. No, I don't think he's gonna be worth hardly anything, and he's too narrow in design, I think. Scrap Metal Fiend might be one of those dollar rares that you pick up or you just throw in with a trade to help even it out. I think he's more likely to be a Magnivore effect where you have to keep powering him up, or in this case destroying what your opponent has. And there's no guarantee your opponent's going to be playing artifacts, probably in standard, but outside standard there's no guarantee. So sideboard card at best. Either way though, it's a cool design card, it's just too narrow. That's going to do it for this week's show. The more subscribers, the more chances of more giveaways. That we'll be doing another one really soon as I get the prizes set up. So stay tuned to this channel. Subscribe if you haven't. Tell your friends. The more subscribers, the more chances. Until next week, guys.